and you will complete the mini project in the environment. Okay, so once your mini project is complete, you will be evaluated by the external examiner in the end. So this will carry last 30 marks. So total grades is 50. Now let's focus on the theory component. The course objective and outcome can be read by you later on. Let's focus on the basics of ethical hacking. That is the first unit of theory content. Well, this is the initial part of your theory course. Now, what are the contents that we share? We talk about the overview of the information security, followed by cyber kill chain concept, what hacking means, what ethical hacking means. Then we talk about how will you make sure that your information is completely foolproof and secure. And finally, we talk about specific laws and standards that are being obeyed by the industry. The first unit talks about ethical hacking. One need to understand the meaning of the word hacking or ethical hacking. Well, the question here is pretty simple. Whether hacking is legal? I say yes, it is. Why? Because hacking is something that is forcible. I can understand that. But when the word ethical is in picture, the concept of hacking becomes totally illegal. Well, the company has certain people who are totally monitoring the performances of their own organization. Now, in simple words, a thief can think like a thief, right? In the same way, if you are a good hacker, you can think of all the betterments for the organization. Now, this does not mean that you can go ahead and hack something, but yes, this means that you will make sure that your organization is foolproof and secure. There are different categories of hackers. White hat hackers are totally ethical. They will only follow the norms, regulations of the organization. They will make sure that the information, whatever is present in the organization, will be foolproof, secure, and if there is any kind of hacking attempt on their organization, it will be retarded. The next category is gray hat. It is a mixture of good and bad people. But if required, these people can hack any other's network. But yes, again, there is certain concepts of ethical. It is just like someone is targeting you, it's your job to defend yourself. And if required, you can forcibly kick the person out. This is how gray hat hackers works. And the last category is black hat. They are totally unethical. Their job is pretty simple: hack the concept, hack the information, hack the web pages, and get maximum benefits out of it. Okay, let's proceed to the second unit. It talks about footprinting and reconnaissance. Well, these are two different categories of starting the hacking concept. Well, how will you hack a specific website or how will you hack the database of a company? The word is simple. It is not like you can go to the company, open the lock, and get it done. No, it's not like that. Well, you need to first of all go on analyzing what the company is, how they work, what are their domains, and where exactly the information is kept or secured. Then the next part is how secure these companies are. Footprinting and reconnaissance talks about all these concepts. If you go through the concepts or the curriculum of Unit 2, it clearly talks about different web services, then social networks, you talk about social engineering, DNS footprinting, and so on. Correct? So the Unit 2 talks about the concepts of footprinting and reconnaissance is the beginning of hacking. Third unit talks about vulnerability analysis. What a vulnerability is? Well, vulnerability is nothing but a specific loophole that is being generated or it is by mistake created in your web page or the organization. Vulnerability assessment means if your organization is vulnerable for specific attacks, you must make sure that it is made foolproof. Just like you may have heard about crowdfunding, a simple updation on the a simple patch that is updated on the OS layer and the kernel starts misbehaving. Okay, so it's nothing but a vulnerability. Well, it talks about different assessment types, then the solutions for it, and so on. Okay, so this is unit 3. Next unit talks about actual hacking. This unit will explain the concepts of hacking. How will you gain the access? How will you escalate the privileges? And how will you maintain the access throughout without the knowledge of the other people? Correct? Next unit talks about web server hacking. Most important part, hacking a single system won't make that kind of benefit. But if you hack a web server, for example, database server, wherein the credit card information of 1 million customer is mounted, yes, it makes the sense. So, how will you hack a web server? Because servers are more secure entities, and when you talk about database server, VPN servers, or ADS servers, they are more stringent and more secure. Hacking such devices is pretty critical. Last unit talks about the web applications as well as wireless networks. There are various web applications that are being designed for multiple purposes. Like if you're using an Android operating system, you have many applications on the Play Store. Likewise, each and every web application is hosted at a specific location. If the web app is hacked by any chance, you will not be able to gain the access. And if it is hacked, what are the chances of recovery? Specifically, recovering the data. And yes, wireless networks. In today's world, we talk about all wireless concepts. Okay. So this talks about 6 units. Now let's focus on the practical. There are total 8 practical, which we will be covering in the specific semester. First practical again talks about footprinting and reconnaissance with the help of search engine, web services, and website. Second practical talks about scanning. This is another important factor because you must be well aware how network behaves for any category of attacks. Scanning the networks is pretty important and it is continuous process. New applications are created, they are implemented, and once they are installed on a local machine, how they behave in the network, right? That's why port and service discovery as well as OS discovery is important. You have an IDS device. So intrusion detection is equally important as far as the scanning is concerned. How many sites you people are visiting and what are the responses from those sites if any information is compromised and so on. I discussed with you about vulnerability just now, so it is the same concept. Practical 4 talks about ARP poisoning using ARP spoofing. So there are different concepts like sniffing, social engineering, denial of service, as well as session hijacking. We will discuss all this during the practical session. Then practical 5 talks about web servers or the hacking of the web services, privilege escalation, as well as the rest of the factors. Next practical talks about the web application hacking, wherein we talk about an important or two important attacks, SQL injection and SQL map. Now, why SQL? It is the structured query language used by most of the databases except NoSQL. Next practical talks about wireless networks. You have a wireless network. It is very easy to intrude in wireless network because it does not have any physical parameters. The protocols that are configured, and yes, the wireless security devices or secure networks are always at a tenterhook. So one need to ensure that these wireless networks are well protected. Last practical talks about IDS, firewall, and honeypots. In previous semester, we discussed about IDS or firewall. Well, we have seen how a firewall functions. Now, in this semester, we will perform intrusion detection, and that too using two different tools. One is SNOT and another one is Nmap. I'll introduce both the tools during the practical assignment time. So this is about the entire curriculum. This is the first video that I have created. You can just go through the curriculum, and if there are any questions, you can always ask me on the portal. Okay, thanks a lot.